Very few people truly question the meaning of life. Leo Tolstoy did not merely think about this question, he lived inside it. Fame, wealth, worldwide recognition. He possessed nearly everything a human being could possibly achieve. And yet, at that very point, an existential crisis began to slowly pull him inward. After becoming one of the greatest writers in literary history with works such as War and Peace and Anna Karenina, Tolstoy suddenly found himself facing a question he had never anticipated. What is the meaning of all this? Tolstoy was born in 1828 into an aristocratic Russian family. From childhood, he lived a life of privilege. He received the finest education and showed intellectual brilliance at an early age. However, his youth, by his own admission, was marked by excess and a life centered on pleasure. Years later, when reflecting on this period, he would describe it as the greatest mistake of his life. Over time, he produced monumental works, War and Peace, Anna Karenina. These novels made him not only famous but deeply respected. His wealth increased, his status rose, he lived at the very top of society. But beneath all this success, a growing emptiness was taking shape. Tolstoy realized something unsettling. Recognition, wealth, and achievement were not filling the deep abyss inside him. Eventually, a far more disturbing thought took hold of his mind. Everything was temporary. One day his writings would be forgotten, his wealth would disappear, his name would fade, his body would return to the earth. This realization terrified him. Tolstoy openly wrote that once the finitude of life is understood, existence becomes unbearable, and he began asking himself, if nothing we do has eternal value, why do we strive so hard? Why do we struggle? Why do we suffer? Why do we love? If everything ends in death, what is the meaning of any of this? These questions could no longer be ignored. They completely overtook his mind. His first instinct was to search for answers in reason and logic. He turned to science. He immersed himself in philosophy. He examined art. But nowhere did he find what he was looking for. Science explained how life functioned, but not why it should be lived. Philosophy was brilliant but uncertain. Reason ultimately led him to a grim conclusion. Life was merely a passing event, and in the long run, nothing truly mattered. This realization plunged Tolstoy into a profound existential crisis. In his own words, this crisis was like a black hole that absorbed all joy and purpose from life. Writing lost its meaning. Providing for his family lost its meaning. Even continuing to live began to feel pointless. In his diaries he wrote, "The only absolute certainty I have is death, and this certainty makes life unbearable." Gradually, dark thoughts began to emerge in his mind. The idea of ending his life frightened him, yet at the same time, it brought a strange sense of relief. Even silence began to feel heavy. When he could no longer cope with the meaninglessness of life, ceasing to exist started to feel like an escape. There was something inside Tolstoy that held him back. Although dark thoughts surrounded him, he did not take the irreversible step. Instead of surrendering completely to despair, he decided to deepen his search. If reason, science, and philosophy could not provide satisfying answers, perhaps he was searching in the wrong place. At this point, Tolstoy began observing his own life from the outside, and what he noticed shook him deeply. The people around him, especially peasants and simple laborers, these people were not experiencing the existential collapse he was facing. Yet their lives were far more difficult. They lived in poverty, They worked relentlessly. Most had little or no education, and still they continued living. Not only that, they lived with a sense of inner peace. Tolstoy admitted that he envied their attitude toward life. They accepted life as it was. They did not tear themselves apart with endless questions. This observation gave rise to a new question. What did these people know that he did not? How was it possible that under such harsh conditions, they were not crushed by existential despair? The answer began to emerge slowly. These people shared one common trait. They believed in something greater than themselves. While Tolstoy wrestled with doubt, they lived in surrender. They trusted not their limited intellect, but a broader sense of meaning. This realization sparked a new interest within Tolstoy. Perhaps the answers he sought lay in a place he had long dismissed: religion. For the first time, he began to accept that the meaning of life might exist beyond the limits of logic and reason. He realized he had been searching for absolute meaning within the narrow confines of the human mind. Perhaps that was why he kept hitting a wall. This transition was not easy. Tolstoy was deeply rational, analytical, and skeptical. Accepting a truth that could not be fully explained by reason went against his nature. Still, he did not dismiss the possibility. He began studying the world's major religions. He read the Bible. He turned to Hindu texts. He explored Eastern philosophies. Across different cultures, he noticed a shared message. Human beings were more than material creatures. Meaning existed beyond wealth, status, and achievement. Yet his conflict did not end. He moved closer to faith, but religious institutions disturbed him. Dogma felt hollow. Authority felt false. He believed true faith lived among ordinary people, simple and sincere. He began redefining belief, a faith that did not reject reason, but accepted what lay beyond it. He formed a personal understanding of God, not a punishing figure, but a universal source of love and meaning. For him, faith was not ritual. It was living with love, compassion, and honesty. He began living differently. He adopted a simpler life. He gave up aristocratic privileges. And then came his greatest realization. Meaning was not found in success, knowledge, or recognition. Meaning was found in love, humility, and service. A life lived only for oneself was doomed to emptiness. The meaning of life was to love and to serve. Tolstoy lived this belief. He worked the land, he dressed simply, he rejected excess. He preached nonviolence and compassion. He criticized institutions that served power instead of truth. The consequences were severe. He was excommunicated. He was watched. He was censored. But he did not turn back. His writing changed. He no longer wrote only about society and war. He wrote about conscience, death, and inner truth. The death of Ivan Ilyich showed a man who chased status and faced regret at death. Resurrection exposed hypocrisy and called for mercy. Tolstoy understood something clearly. The meaning of life cannot be explained with words. It can only be lived. Meaning is not found, it is created. Created through daily choices, created through love, created through service. His doubts never fully disappeared, but he had direction. In his final years, he left everything behind. He sought peace. He died quietly, far from wealth and fame, but close to truth. And he left behind a message that still speaks to us today. The meaning of life is not waiting to be discovered. It is waiting to be lived.